Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale here in Abuja. Tonight on Sunday Politics, we'll bring you an exclusive and perhaps unmissable conversation with the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. This is going to be his very first extended sit-down conversation and interview since the unveiling of the emerging opposition coalition platform anchored by the African Democratic Congress, ADC. As the political temperature begins to rise ahead of the 2027 election and as opposition figures align to challenge President Bola Tinubu and the ruling APC, Mr. Obi opens up to us on the program exclusively on the state of the nation, the deepening economic and security crisis, and where it stands in the evolving coalition talks in these over 1 hour special. He speaks candidly about his continued role in the Labour Party, his assessment of the Tinubu administration, his thoughts on Nigeria's democratic future, and notably his position on a single-term presidency should he run again. It's a conversation loaded with insight, strategy, and vision. Once again, welcome to the program. And let me bring you the very first portion of our conversation with the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. Your Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sam, for having me.
How have you been?
Surviving.
Quite a while. Interesting. I saw you yesterday and in the ADC, the flag of the unveiling of the coalition platform. How did that come?
Well, you can see what we said. The coalition just adopted a party for 2027. So we're trying to work together. You know, the opposition are trying to come together to work together for the sake of Nigeria.
So what does this then mean? Does it mean that you are an ADC member or a Labour Party member?
Today, I'm a Labour Party member, and I remain in Labour Party. But we have all agreed to work in coalition for 2027 election. And for that, we've just adopted ADC. Going on, other parties, other individuals are going to still come in. But it's just like an unveiling, like you used it before, an adoption, which will still go into bringing other people together under the same umbrella and saying, we want better governance for this country. We want to see more competent government with the capacity and character to do the right things.
So at some point you are going to leave Labour Party, is that it?
Well, where we are, the coalition, this coalition might have other parties that will come together, like it's happened in the past, and change the name of the party, anything. But right now we've adopted one party. The other ones are going to come in. So we can't say whether we're going to leave this or we're going to come into this. What is constant now is that we've all agreed to work together.
The implication is a legal one. Whether or not, as someone who is intending to run for office, you have the ability to participate or be in two political parties, it then means that will affect your ability.
So there's a difference in between intention and being. I said I'm a member of this, you know, and I'm going to work with this group. So it's like, oh, well, I want to invest in this company, where they say, oh, you cannot be in two companies at the same time. But I have indicated my intention. I want to go into this. That is not.
Well, you don't see it as anti-party.
No. There's not an anti-party.
No, because I don't think Labour Party has agreed to
remember, we said for 2027. Say we're not in 2020, we're in 2025. It's clear. We've adopted this for 2027. So if I say I'm going to this, that doesn't say, oh, well, listen, I want to be sharing, I want to be able to be part of your dinner in the evening. That doesn't mean I should abandon my breakfast and lunch because I intended to come and eat your dinner. No, we're going there.
So
we're going to go together. We are not abandoning where we are. At some stage, When that happens, you know.
So you are thinking of being a running mate to Atiku. Is that the case right now? That's your intention?
Again, Shehu, this is not in play. Nobody have ever discussed that.
You know what I'm asking?
People assume so many things. Nobody have ever discussed with me whether I'm going to be A or B or C. Shehu, I'm going to contest for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I believe I'm qualified for it.
You know the reason why I'm asking this? The coalition has been touted as Atiku-led coalition. And there are those who think that organization of coming together, that marriage is for an Atiku platform to run.
People just assume anything in this country. And I don't believe in assumption. I don't live with it. I'm part of a coalition which will be able to produce a competent president with the capacity, compassion to save this country.
And you look at the assemblage in that room. Some have described them as geriatrics who are old and done politically, who have been former this, former that. And this is Peter Obi, and your reputation, you know what your reputation is with the Nigerian people. There are those who think that Peter Obi stands for a ray of hope, a beacon of hope for a lot of young Nigerians. And your association with some of those who have been described as spent, former this, former that. You don't think that there's a problem, that it's a contradiction?
Shehu, when a leader comes into the scene, you lead everybody. Your job is to change. You change the old, you change the young. You don't just say, oh, my job as a leader is to change those who are not even, and if you look at it, it's about everywhere in the world. Those who brought out change everybody. Even for those of us, I'm sure it's in Islam, it's within the Quran, it's in the Bible, that those who actually, like Paul, who was previously Saul, who actually wrote everything, was one of those who were major persecutors of Jesus Christ and his team. But God changed. They want good governance.
So like a Messiah, that's what you want to be?
Whatever you call it.
A political Messiah.
It's not for me to say, oh, this one is bad, this one is good. No. It is for everybody to come together and show that you can do things better.
Is it not contradictory, though? There are those who say some of them had planned to sustain military rule in Nigeria. Some of them had run severally in the government that Nigerians thought that had failed. And you say you want to reform Nigeria. Is it not contradictory?
In fact, you need some who has been in bad government. Their experience is critical. I can tell you one of the major companies in the world hired 2 people who have worked in several failed companies because they can tell you what happened, why they failed. You need the experience of those who have failed and those who have succeeded to move on. And I need everybody. You need everybody. It is a critical experience because they know what can fail a system. And they know what was wrong with the system. So you need everybody. So if you want to serve, you must serve everybody.
In all of this, the ultimate goal and agenda is to ensure that 2027, this government and this party, APC, led by President Tinubu, is swept out of prominence. That's the agenda, isn't it?
Yes.
And by all means, you are going to pursue it.
We're not going to do it by all means. We're going to do it by all lawful means to make sure, because we've seen the failure, we've seen the incompetence of the government, we've seen they don't have the capacity to do the job. So you just have to do, for the sake of our children.
If this option, one of the options is for you to be a running mate, you will still keep it?
There's no option here, Cyril. We're not talking about options.
Obi has to be on the ballot.
Well, the rest is for Nigerians to decide.
Let me ask you, is there anything specifically that has been happening in Nigeria since the 2023 elections that has strengthened your resolve to want to run again in 2027?
You could see it everywhere. we have an incompetent government. So, as president of Nigeria, I'll bring civility and order in governance. I'll govern with the Constitution of Nigeria. I will respect the Constitution of Nigeria. I will govern within the laws. The government will obey the laws. I will do appointment by federal character. I will appoint competent persons with capacity and compassion for good of Nigeria. People that are worthy of emulation. So I'm not going to be Minister of Petroleum, like it's been. Every ministry will have substantive minister who is competent, who has the character, compassion, and capacity to run that ministry, but show you the things that as president, I will have hands-on reported to me daily on real time. Number one is security of life and property of every Nigerian citizen. Number two is basic education of our children. Because we must put those 18 million people as of them. So it is more important for Nigeria to invest in education than oil. The human capital of Nigeria, considering its population, is a huge asset. I will make sure that hands-on, I know anything that happens about health of Nigerians, starting from primary health care, ensuring we increase the insurance coverage, where the rich will pay, where the poor will benefit, and everything. So I will make sure that I know real time what happens with agricultural products, which will drive the foundation of our manufacturing. I want to know what power we are generating daily and distributed daily. And I want to look at the SMEs, the manufacturing, to ensure that they are properly supported with adequate interest rates.
And I'd like to go into details of some of the crucial areas, because you campaign in 2023, and there are those who say, well, all of the things that this government said they would do are the things that Peter Obi also said he was going to do. And I'll come to those things in a bit. But all of these things you mentioned, you said you're going to do only in one single term of 4 years.
Oh, yes, it's just to know what is happening to them daily. And you're not going to solve them overnight.
So you don't want to spend more than 4 years as president?
Completely.
To be elected?
That's it. I mean, so you can actually do all of it. You can actually. Nobody expects 100% result. They expect 100% sacrifice and effort. So we know we're driving there. So there's nobody that going anywhere is going in one day. But if we set out to go to Kaduna today, people want to see us in Kaduna Road. If we're headed to Lagos Road, we're in the wrong direction. What is happening now is that we're telling people we're going in this direction, but we're going in that direction. And so if you don't know where you're going, every road will lead you there. That's the confusion.
Can Nigerians trust that commitment of a single term from you?
So I said it and I put it in capital. I don't need a day more than 4 years. In fact, the day
and
before,
you fix Nigeria in those 4 years.
It's not fair. I will show the direction of good governance. That's why I said.
To what end is this one single? Why do you want to spend? The Constitution allows you. You've been a two-term governor. Why do you want to?
In 2 years, there had been maximum damage. That shows 2 years can change it in good direction. People want to get up and see a president that cares, a president that shows compassion. So today we have a country without compassion. Leadership without compassion does not exist. It's a minus. It's not good for the country.
Is there anything that you see that this government is doing that lacks compassion?
So, in December 18th or thereabout, several children died in a battle. I think it was December 18th. On the 19th, the president from Nigeria flew from Abuja to Lagos for Christmas holidays. Say, I will not do it. I'll go to Ibadan. I will go and look for their parents and cry with them.
The president
I will show them.
If the president went to Benue.
No, one minute. There was no compassion in that. People lost their children. People lost their children that will lead this country tomorrow. He didn't do that. He went for Christmas holiday. In Benue, he was not there for days. I will go the first day. And when he got there, he said he couldn't visit the community because of bad road. He has not gone to Niger State, where we lost over 200, and now they said it's 600 that they're still missing, and it's presumed dead. It's only about 15 minutes flight from Abuja to Niger. There's no compassion. I've watched our president, top government officials in this capital of Abuja commissioning bus stations when we lost 20-something soldiers in Niger. It will not happen. Is commissioning road more important than our soldiers that are dying? Is commissioning road more important than our children are not in school? Is road more important than children being in school? There's no compassion. There's no governance. I will not be, look at this week. This week alone, Monday, 30-something were killed in one of our states. Tuesday, 13 was killed in one of our states. Yesterday, it was over 10 in Anambra. This morning, it's over 13 in Sokoto. And our president is in island of St. Lucia. That is not even up to the size. Island of St. Lucia is 617 square kilometers of land. Mina is 6,700. Mina is 10 times the size of St. Lucia. In terms of population, St. Lucia is only 180,000 people. Ajegunle is 560. Ajegunle. So what is our president doing there?
So that trip is a waste of time. Is that what you said?
No. I won't do it. If I'm going to go to St. Lucia, that won't last more than 1 day. Our president has not even gone to any state for 2 days, apart from Lagos. I will be in Niger State. I will be in Mokwa. If there's any place to spend longer days, it's in Mokwa, where I have lost now 800 to 1,000 people. Why would I be there? He even gave some children scholarship in St. Lucia. When we have 18 million out-of-school children, with our capital, children are not in school. That's not governance. The country needs governance.
I mean, are we looking for saints to run this country?
No, we're looking for competent persons with capacity, character, and compassion to do it.
You don't belong to a gang of saints?
No. Saints, even saints.
Gregory.
No.
But you're not a saint.
No, saints derive from Presbyterian, and a combination of the great saints, Peter and Gregory. So it's not just I'm Peter.
But in character, you're not a saint.
No. In character, a leader must be somebody, I said, he must be competent. He must have the character and behavior, public conduct to show that this is right, this is wrong.
Let me ask you, and I'd like you to clarify this, because I watch a lot of conversation around you, and around every major political figure in this country. How do you clarify this reputation that you worked for the Abacha government? Or in the Abacha government?
I've never worked for government before I became governor. I can tell you that.
Did you do anything special?
Let me clarify for you. I've never worked for any government before. I was a very successful businessman. And everybody knows that. I was a very successful businessman. I built my business from scratch to something of a routine. As a businessman, I'm also part of those who were controlling trade in Lagos then. There was a time during Abacha's government, even happened during Obasanjo's government, there was a time during Abacha's government, because you know when Abacha took over, they said all ports, seaports and everything closed. So they came out with a policy that caused congestion in our ports, even in the airports. Goods were not being cleared, goods were not being exported and everything. And some of us felt, no, we need to go and see the head of state then, or at least the commissioner, Minister of Finance, who was I think it was Annie. So we came to Abuja, about 50 of us. We had an audience with the Minister of Finance and the President and the head of state then, and we were able to elucidate the problem we're facing. The President then directed the Finance Minister that he should take some of us who are the leaders, should just form a committee to decongest all the ports in Nigeria. And there were about 10 or 20 ports. Make sure that in each committee, one of us is involved. That's the only thing I had to do with the port. And then when we finished, which lasted maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they said, it is now time to probe and reorganize the port, because I had written in one of my comments that Nigerian Ports Authority is the only port I know in the world that have an office outside its country of operation. And couple that they've seen, they said, you become a member of the panel. He said, if anything, I was a member that tried to reorganize and sack people. Saying he has nothing to do with working government. I've never met Abacha. I don't know him. I'm not in the military. Saying everything I've done in my life is in the public space.
Let's take a brief break, and when we return, our conversation with Mr. Peter Obi continues. Everyone can stay with us. Let's continue with our conversation. I mean, you seem to campaign more about frugality than investment. That those who say those monies that you're talking about that you're leaving could have been invested.
So I invested it. I invested in education, which is the most critical investment a nation can do. So I took the state from 20-something in Wayakaneko to #1. So under me, and I challenge any state, under me, all secondary school, I can go down to primary, all secondary school in Anambra State had a functional science lab, had a sick bed, had a generator, had 2 buses, have computer. Go and ask HP till today. I bought the highest number of computer ever sold by HP to any state in Africa. The order, they're there. You can go and ask HP, or you can go and ask the star of, let me remember his company now. You can go and ask him. No other person has done it.
If you become president, you will be frugal, yet you invest.
No. If I become president, I use the resources effectively. I cannot say, buy a new jet.
Even if you need one.
I don't need one. You don't need one. Because you can go to anywhere with that jet. I will never need one.
You fly Airpeace, you fly Ghana, you fly
Of course, baby. Say, I will not use 150 billion to buy a jet when 80% of our primary health care centers are not functioning.
Even as against security protocols.
Which security?
You've been a governor, you know what it means.
No, what do you mean security? That's what they tell. That's nonsense they tell. I was a governor for my first 4 years. I drove 406. For the rest of it, I didn't drive bulletproof cars. Nobody's deciding to kill you. You're doing the right thing. It's when you do the wrong thing that you're saying about that.
Would security agency even allow
you? Forget all those things. If your people are dying, you should be ready to die. That's the job you chose. Or you go back to your house and live quietly. The president should also be ready to die if your people are dying. Why should we have security vehicles? No, you can fly. Who is protecting you in the air? If you catch it, everybody dies. The British Airways flies every day. How many people have died? Are they going to provide you security in the air?
Let me take you to because what is important for our nation today is the alternative and the options that we have as a people, the hope of a better Nigeria. And economy is very key. And I look at this government, the administration says they are focused heavily on currency reforms and subsidy removal, which many say have worsened inflation and hardship for ordinary Nigerians. What alternative economic strategies would you pursue to stabilize the economy and protect the most vulnerable compared to the current government's approach should you become president?
So, I campaign on removal of subsidy. Remember, but I said, one, there's a corruption associated with the subsidy that you need to remove first. If you had removed it, that's what I said, yes, but it was done in a disorganized manner. So everything is about organization. There's a corruption associated with it that you need to remove first to know the actual subsidy and organize how you can gradually deal with whatever is remaining, and people must have to see the alternative. So when this government removed subsidy, do you know what they said? They said it's to stop borrowing to sustain it. But this government has borrowed more than government of Yaradua, Jonathan, Buhari put together. As at the time Buhari left, our debt was about 80 trillion. Today we're almost 180 trillion. Without anything to show for it.
Is it a crime to borrow as a government?
No. These are part of the laws I want to change. We must now make a law that all borrowing must be for investment. In critical areas of development, you don't borrow for consumption. Without that, you waste everybody's time. Saying I'm a businessman, there's nothing wrong in borrowing. If I borrow to build factory, it's different if you borrow to bury your father. Because your father is of no value. It's gone. It's just consumption. That's why I keep saying that I want to move this country from consumption to production.
For example, what would you borrow for if you were president?
So I'll borrow to finance education. I'll borrow to ensure that Nigerians have power. I can go on and on. There's so many things.
How long can it take you, for example, to fix Nigerian power situation?
So
you went to Egypt.
Thank you. So let me tell you
from them.
That's it. It took Egypt 5 years. So we're not going to fix overnight. But remember what I said. Nobody expects 100% success. They want 100% effort. If development and what you do, governance, must be measurable. So if we decide, okay, we are now at 4,000. So we can decide, I'm only going to do 8,000. But annually, there must be improvements.
How would you do it? How would you fix power?
It's not rocket science. Egypt, I'm not saying now, say the 3 countries that improve power in the recent time, unless one did it yesterday, as at the time I went to Egypt, we are 3 countries in the world. India, Vietnam, and Egypt. And those are developing countries. So, governance is about learning from best practices. It is not rocket science.
So what do you feel? Have you identified why I'm over 40 and I've not, in my lifetime, since I was born, I've not experienced constant electricity, and my children were born into a similar situation? The question is, have you identified what the problem is?
Yes, the problem is in failure of leadership.
That's the problem of electricity.
Everything. If you have a determined leader He will learn. He will ensure implementing vigorously. Like the president announced that he's happy that the opposition is in crisis. I will go there and solve it. As governor of Anambra State, you've seen me say it every day. Oju Sokari is there. He came to campaign for Uche Ekunife. I gave him the vehicles that took him to the campaign. When he finished, he came to my lodge, ate lunch in front of me, standing this way, Uche standing this way. He said he has come to campaign, that I've done well, Uche will replace me. And I was in that election. And when I go to they go say, oh, Peter, you're too weak. I said, I dare the people going to vote. When the people voted, they voted for me.
So the same thing that president is doing by employing or appointing Nyesom Wike as FCT minister and empowering the opposition, is that the kind of thing you're describing?
No, it's not empowering the opposition. I want strong opposition parties. Even, let's say I'm president today in one party, I want strong PDP. I mean, I want a Labour. I want strong APC. I want to listen to them. I want to see democracy thrive. I want people to understand. I want to listen to the opposition. Because they might have an idea that is superior to what I have. That is governance.
Would you be forming something like a government of national unity and taking people who are not in your party to form government? Is that the kind of thing you would do?
So we are talking about Nigeria. If they have something that is better, I will take it.
You appoint ministers outside of your party?
It's no question of appointing ministers. I'm appointing Nigerians who are competent. Happens everywhere. So the government of England went to Canada to hire a central bank governor. Do you know how old England is? That colonized Canada. They went there because they wanted to function. It's only in this country that you put in competent people in a place because they're your relation or they know you. And that's what I'm clamoring for. We have voted for incompetence. We voted for tribe. We voted for religion. Let's vote for competence.
Do you think that the North trusts you?
Shehu, I want them to trust me. The biggest asset of this country is in the North. The uncultivated land in the North. The criminality we face in the North today, I'll deal with it. Shehu, if I'm president, the North will celebrate me. I have an idea of the problem. Shehu, I'm in this country when, if I'm looking for cash, I go to Kano. There used to be industries in Bompai 1, in Bompai, Sharadan 1, Sharadan 2, and everything. So I was in Indonesia this year. From February 1 to February 7, meeting from Minister of Health, Minister of Education, Minister of Small Businesses, Minister of this, to former Vice President, to the most popular president. And so you learn, and what they did is not rocket science.
Let me ask you, Mr. Frugality. There is a popular slogan that you used in the campaign, from consumption to production.
Yes.
Is that not productive? Let me ask you, because there are those who have also criticized you that what industry did Obi even put in Anambra when he was governor, to start with as an example. But I'd like to take the Nigerian example.
I mean, you know that industries. They have even used it as an example.
The brewery, right? As one.
Yes.
But the big question here, we're looking at a bigger picture, Ms. Obi. We need to start looking at our competitive advantage as a country.
Yes.
Where will the jobs come the most? Where will the more money come as an alternative to oil? If you are president, where do you think you will focus the most in the very first 1 year that can give us that advantage?
Shehu, I might not turn it around the very first 1 year, but I can tell you, Shehu, we can make more money from agriculture than we make from oil. Any day, any time. I can show it to you.
Which produce will you be focusing on?
Shehu, we have all the produce. Why did you think? Shehu, go and look at the arrays. Do you know arrays, which the colonial masters did, were focused on where we were getting products. So there's so much. Nigerian land is so fertile that we can grow anything. You see, this Niger State we're having problem. It has one of the best fertile land on the surface of the earth. So the world is today is looking for cassava, they're looking for yam.
I'm not talking about Benue, I'm not talking about Nasarawa.
I can go. You are not
that belt.
You are not the one. As I say, we are not one talking. We have 54,000 square kilometers of land in Taraba. Not Taraba here. That can grow all that.
Which one would you focus on?
All of them simultaneously, because it's an investment. That's why I said I will borrow and put in investment. You are not borrowing for production, not for consumption.
Have you done the math?
Oh, so it's very easy. I don't need to renovate conference center. There's no conference here. So I've done it as a governor. You ask which industry did I build. So one of the first places I renovated as governor was industrial estate in Onitsha. Go there and see the number of industries. Jonathan commissioned at least 10 industries there. So come, I will show it to you, including the brewery that I mentioned. That brewery is the biggest taxpayer in Anambra State, pays government. You know.
All right, we're not done yet with our conversation with Mr. Peter Obi, but we need to take another commercial break, and we'll be right back. Do you applaud this government for some initiative, for example, the tax reform bills, those 4 laws that have been signed by the president, the student loan that's been given, the credit corp, and this government will say we are turning the curve, and our economy is gaining momentum. Are you able to applaud those kind of initiatives?
The reality in governance is the people. Nigeria has never lacked good policies. What it lacked is good and committed implementation. Remember, Nigerians are very good people. They're committed. That's why every president comes and says, things are difficult, let's fast. And Nigerians will jump to it and say, okay, let's fast with you. But then the leaders now go into feasting. When they've just asked the people to fast. You can't tell people to fast when you're feasting. You buy new planes, you're renovating houses, buying new mansions, doing this. Say, we don't have a hospital. If anything happens to you or me now, they can't rush us to a national hospital.
They are private hospitals.
No, they have broken that chain. I'm just telling you. This is nonsense.
Government-owned hospitals.
When British Prime Minister had COVID, they took him to St. Mary's. I had a cousin in the UK. He had COVID. They took him to St. Mary's. Our national hospital is supposed to be our #1 hospital. Go there. They have no equipment. It's all broken down. They have no ambulance. Our government officials are driving on the road with ambulance. So I've never seen government officials anywhere outside Nigeria. He's come for an ambulance. Not even, no, I lived in the UK for years. Why? As an ambulance in hospitals. Ambulances are meant to be in hospitals, not to be following government officials.
Is there a promise that I'd like to know? Because all of these, the policies and everything that we're talking about in terms of the economy, is the bottom line is the livelihood of the average person.
Completely.
The man and the woman who are trying to eke out a living, if they don't work every day, they cannot feed their families. What promise do you have for them? For them to think that Peter Gregory Obi has an idea that can alleviate their poverty, give them some hope. How soon do you think, should we be elected president, that you can help them out of this poverty and this hopelessness?
So it's not going to be overnight. But let me tell you.
But you will do it in 4 years.
From day one, I will tackle the issue of security. You can't tell me that non-state actors can be stronger than state.
How would you do that?
We declare war. Say we've lost more people than countries at war. So let's go to war. Let's do whatever it is. Even this borrowing you're talking, borrow money to put into security, into equipment, get the manpower.
But you will not get those equipment in real time. You have to wait until the manufacturer.
Let me tell you.
It's frustrating.
There's nothing you cannot do if you want to do it. It's frustrating.
So this government doesn't have the willpower or what?
Same. I just told you. People are being killed. They are not even there. They are commissioning bus station. So you cannot tell me that I, Peter, will be sitting where we have 10 soldiers die, which I'm not sure are police die and everything, which I'm not sure they're being killed. And my job is to sit for 2-3 hours where they're commissioning bus station. So I will not do it. I will shut it down and go out there.
You declare state of emergency on security.
No, if there's a war, we declare war. We can be at war. There's nothing wrong in saying our country is at war.
And you, by yourself as a commander-in-chief, go to the war front.
I can tell you, Shane, I might not go physically, but I'll go. Because I'll be with the people there. They will know I'm with them.
What are they?
Yeah, if anything this have happened to me as a governor, I wish you can go and meet my police commissioners when we have problem. One is Lena, John Haruna. The other one is alive, Bello from Kwara. I told them we are at war. You must see me 24 hours. Ask them, or ask my commander of the army when I was there, Jayanenche. He's in Abuja here. Ask him, I told him we are at war. And then you can see me anytime. I must stop this criminality. And I'm happy that if you look at an interview from then A.G. Abubakar, I said for 5 years, we've not had issue of bank robbery, major crime in Anambra State.
But there was spate of the kidnappings and a few of those.
There's nothing you will not see anywhere in the world. The kidnappings in America, they kill people in America. The difference is that if anything happens, there's a reaction from government. People want to see
you
government.
have alternative, Mr. Obi, on how to solve, because we've been employing the same techniques over the years.
Same.
Have you learned a new way to solving this insecurity problem?
There is so many. Even I told you, there's what they call natural insecurity. That is pulling people out of poverty. So by the time you invest, the entire state in the north cumulatively, over the past 2 years, have not been able to support their SMEs with more than maybe, let me be generous, 50 billion. I've been to 2 states in the north who told me they applied for Bank of Industry. There's 150 billion used to buy a plane. I'll put it as a matching fund, just for example, and get another 150 billion, that's 300, shared by the 19 states, call it 20 states, so each will get 15 billion. Within this period, and you give it to these young people. So we have gone to prisons and see these young people that have problems. And I ask them, why did you do this? They have no job. They don't know where the next meal will come from. And if you don't know where the next meal will come from, so nobody can know or imagine what you can do.
Let me ask you, as a governor, there are those who say the federating units need to play their roles. There's just a president of the Federal Republic and the 36 state leaders of 36 state government. The question is, issue of state policing come to bear. What would you be suggesting as the alternative solution in governing all of the states of the country and making sure that they are properly policed?
So I will have community policing. I will encourage it. Local government policing, I will encourage it. State policing, I will encourage it. Federal policing. So as governor, every community in Anambra State have community security system employing 10 to 20 persons paid directly from my office as governor, was paying for the security personnel that was manning it. So if you stay in one town, the radio, you cannot. The 3 major criminals that were operating in the southeast, everybody knows them. You will not know because of the Igbo names, Ofaku, Oisikanku, and Gwekelo. Welcome to Anambra State. Because once you sit in one town, the radio they must get you in another town. So I would do, that's why I said, I would do whatever it is to secure the country. Security is number one. Nobody's going to come and invest in Lagos if he hears there's bomb in Boronu, because doesn't know when the bomb will come to Lagos. So you need to, the reputation of your country in terms of security, in terms of local investment, is critical for you to.
I mean, when you touched on the issue of the security in the Southeast, there were those who criticized you, that you never came out to condemn the role IPOB and those who were the agitators and those who were asking for sit at home. And some of the killings that happened.
Still, they are not following me. I've condemned killings everywhere, even the one that happened in Anambra yesterday.
You're talking about the role of IPOB.
I said I've condemned everything. The only thing I said about the agitators, let me tell you now. So it doesn't matter what, there's Yoruba agitators, there's other agitators, there's Israel agitators. I will talk to all of them. There's nothing wrong with agitating. Anybody who says, okay, come on, let's talk. You must exhaust the reason, you must exhaust. But sure, I see all those functionalities as a function of a dysfunctional, is a result of a dysfunctional society. If you do the right things, all these things will collapse on its own. So what I'm going to unleash here as Govt, somebody who works in government, will change it.
Would this be canvassing for a political solution to the case of Nnamdi Kanu?
For every one of them. I mean, why is it being held? It doesn't make sense to me. Some people say because he used vulgar words and everything. Is there anything wrong? I've not seen it. People just say, oh, using vulgar words. You say, it doesn't bother me if I'm president, whether you call me thief, call me a less man, call me idiot, which they call me today. It doesn't bother me. My duty as a leader is to the common man to put food on their table.
Well, if you are talking about the situation in the South, is it the same way you handle the agitators and those who are killing in the Northeast and the Northwest?
Remember what I said. Different? If there are people I can talk to, I will talk to them. But remember what I said. Once I exhaust reason, I'll deal with it. Let's say tomorrow we have a bandit by name so operating in the Northeast. I will look for him. Quote me anywhere. But, remember, that is just establish a link to say enough is enough.
Afterwards?
Deal with it decisively.
Are you happy with the peace and the quiet in the Southeast after the arrest of Simon Ekpa?
There's no peace anywhere like I know in Nigeria now. So for me, I just told you they killed 10 yesterday in my state. Is that peace? People are being killed everywhere in Nigeria. Everywhere.
Let me ask you quickly,
yes.
Ms. Obi. A lot of your followers believe so much in you. And those who do not believe in you, they don't think that you're the right man. Why do you think that Nigerians should trust a Peter Gregory Obi that will give them hope and will give them focus? Can they trust you?
Shehu, everything I've said, I did. As governor, when I was campaigning to be governor of Anambra State, I said I'll fix education. I'll make sure I improve in education. There will never be a time children will not be in school. I can show you education increased. It became better. I said we're going to deal with the issue of health. We didn't have one single school of nursing and school of midwifery. By the time I left, we have more schools of midwifery and school of nursing today than any state. I talked about rural roads, opening up rural. You can go on and on. It is not the same.
So Nigerians can.
Like I said, no.
You have the solution.
What they can. When I talk about corruption, we will fight corruption head on. Head on. And I said it. If you, who is number one, either at level, national level or state, is not stealing, your wife is not, your family is not, reduced by 50%, then an experiment way. I've had people now who say, oh, but you're corrupt. But Shehu, I left 36 billion naira I would have stolen. I left $150 million. I would have told him. Say, have you ever seen a thief leave what he can
But
steal?
people will make reference to the Panama Papers and some of the
No,
crimes.
say, I ask you a question. Have you seen a thief leave what he can steal? Even in the church today, you go say, take your phone, mind your phone, because no thieves come there. No thief have left what he can steal. So when they talk about Pandora Papers, I say go and investigate it in full. So we exaggerate here. That is a legal entity for estate arrangement. So we will focus on the critical areas of development.
Mr. Peter Obi, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much, and I wish you the very best in the coming days.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is the edited version of that interview, because as much as the timing of television can permit us. But of course, you can go to Channels Television YouTube page. It is www.youtube.com/Channels TV or Channels Television on YouTube. And you can watch the over 1 hour uncut version of Mr. Peter Obi's conversation with us. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching tonight. I'm Sean Akimale. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.